In Bengaluru, a routine ride from work ended in a tragedy as a 32-year-old woman was killed on a damaged section of the road, raising the question yet again that when potholes keep returning, who is answerable, who's really accountable? Then we shift our focus to Maharashtra, because in the state, Marathi becomes mandatory for commercial cab drivers, including Ola, Uber, Rapido, all the cab applications. Is this about passenger safety and integration, or could language enforcement put migrant livelihoods and income at risk? And then finally, in Patiala, a couple that is brutally attacked by a pit bull whilst they were on a house hunt visiting a house for rent. As calls grow for breed restrictions, we're going to try and decode and ask, should dangerous breeds be banned, or should owners face tougher accountability? We've got three stories, three questions of safety, accountability and everyday life, the questions that matter and are in your interest. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi. First, the top headlines. Shiromani Akali Dal Chief Sukhbir Singh Badal attacked in Maharashtra's Nanded by a Kirpan. Police detains the accused Jaspal Singh. Prime Minister Modi inquires on the Akali Dal's chief and his health. Bengal withdraws state honour from BJP MP Nagendra Ray for alleged derogatory remarks about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. In a major update, this in the RG Kaur rape and murder case, former Trinamool Congress MLA Nirmal Ghosh has now been arrested in Odisha over allegations of conducting a hasty cremation of the victim. Air India and Air India Express to carry out psychoactive substance testing for all pilots in its fleet after the Phuket Delhi flight's pilot in command tested positive for consuming marijuana. Yet another road safety horror in Bengaluru. And once again, the question is not simply about just an accident, but about the road that's beneath it. A 32-year-old woman, Medha Akarsh, an EPFO employee from Kerala, was traveling pillion on a two-wheeler in Ananth Nagar, near Electronic City, on her way to work. She was just 3 kilometers from home. According to the preliminary account, a pedestrian moved towards the road. A car that was moving just ahead braked suddenly, and the two-wheeler, Medha was on that two-wheeler, lost balance. This was on a slushy and damaged portion and stretch of the road that again had potholes. Medha was thrown onto the road and was then run over by a mini goods vehicle. She was quickly rushed to the hospital but died of her injuries. She leaves behind her husband and a 3-year-old child. The police have identified the sudden braking and loss of balance as the immediate sequence leading to the crash. CCTV footages, they're also going to be examined, and the goods vehicle driver reportedly fled the scene. But residents say that the story does not begin with that sudden break. They say the road has been in poor condition for years now, repeatedly dug up, repaired and then damaged again. And after Medha Akarsh's death, hundreds of residents took out a candlelight march, held protests and demanded accountability from civic authorities. Their allegation is stark. This was not simply an unfortunate accident on an ordinary road. They say motorists have been forced to negotiate dangerous stretches despite repeated complaints time and again. And that brings us to Bengaluru's larger road repair paradox. By March this year, official figures showed 41,150 potholes identified across Bengaluru, with 39,887 of them repaired at a cost of a whopping 33.85 crore rupees. But if tens of thousands of potholes are being repaired, why does the problem keep returning? One part of the answer lies in the city's infrastructure cycle. Roads are repeatedly dug up for water and sewage pipelines, electricity cables, gas lines, optical fiber, utility works. Restoration can then be delayed or poorly executed. A repaired road gets dug up again, the surface deteriorates, potholes return, and another repair drive begins. So is Bengaluru's problem really a pothole problem? Or is it a problem of coordination, construction, quality, and needless to say about accountability? Because road safety is also about the margin or slight margin for error. A pedestrian suddenly crossing, a car instantly braking, a two-wheeler losing its balance, skidding on a slushy stretch of the road. These things can happen anywhere. But a smooth, predictable road gives a rider a chance to recover. That chance was missing for Medha. A slushy, uneven or broken surface can turn that same moment into a fatal chain reaction. And the larger numbers are sobering. Bengaluru recorded 807 fatal road accidents and 891 deaths because of the accidents in 2025 alone. More than 2 road deaths each day. Speeding, traffic violations, helmet violations, all of these remain major factors. Let's not get the facts wrong. But damaged roads and ongoing road work can add another very dangerous layer of risk. So the questions tonight are bigger than just one pothole. Who is responsible when a repaired road fails yet again? Who monitors the quality of this repair that we're talking about? Who is accountable when another agency digs it up? And how many accidents does it take before road safety becomes a measurable responsibility rather than a repair exercise? That's what we're going to debate tonight with a journalist, a citizen voice. We tried to speak to the government. They did not want to come and speak about this. But we'll try our best to decode these objectives, decode these questions. Before that, we've got some reactions coming across from the political realm. Listen in.
For no fault of us, she lost her life. The entire family probably will be suffering. The child, I think 3 months old, 3 years old child. She's 32 years old and she's having a 3 years old baby. And I think that now that baby has lost her mother because of the blunder of the GBA or the corporation of Bengaluru Corporation and the government of Karnataka, Congress government in the state of Karnataka, because the road safety is not there, the roads have not been maintained, or the care has not been taken.
I'm saddened for it. My sympathy is there. The reason is definitely there could be chances that there would be some pothole. So just the pothole is there, it doesn't mean that the entire infrastructure or we have not spent money. We have spent more money if you want. Always, every year we are given justification, here. If it is because of the pothole, it is a sad thing. But whatever BJP is claiming, we cannot speak about BJP. We have seen the entire country today, the way roads are, the national highways, the states which BJP have ruled. And if they have done very good roads in this past 10 years there, they had in the central also, they had the state here. If they had made the best of roads, today this road should have been not in this condition.
Well, with us on the broadcast, Mr. Sandeep Shastri, political analyst. Many thanks, Mr. Shastri. Nice to have you back here on News 9. Dr. Nishan Najumuddin, public policy expert. Many thanks, Doctor, for taking out the time. And Swantana Srikanth, social activist, also with us on the broadcast. You see, Mr. Shastri, I'm going to quickly get the snowball rolling with you. I can understand it must be a tricky day for the Congress politicians because the first day of the Vidhana Sauda and, this case comes to light. Tricky and difficult questions for them to answer. But why not? They are in the ruling dispensation. They're supposed to be answering those questions, but it's again and yet again a blame game. Be it the Congress government, be it the BJP government, be it the JDS government, the questions remain the same. They repair the work, the potholes come up again, and you have deaths year on year. Governments may come and go, but the pothole remains forever.
You are so right in what you said. There is a sickening regularity with every monsoon that these problems come up. And as you said, I think it is not about a particular ruling party. Over the last 2 decades, if you look at Karnataka, this has been a tragedy that we have seen with every monsoon. Now, I think number one, we need to look at the multiple factors which have accounted for this. Beyond a shadow of doubt, the poor repair of roads. Beyond a shadow of doubt, the way the work is executed by the contractors is of a very poor quality, resulting in this challenge coming again. Beyond a shadow of doubt, a need for a greater civic responsibility on the part of the citizen. And finally, I think citizen groups being the monitoring agencies to be able to highlight this, the need for a single agency through which all permissions are given for any road repair work, which will not result in the challenge we are seeing, that the road is dug up by one party and then replaced and then again dug up by a second agency. If we have a unified system where permission to dig a road is given by a particular authority, which makes sure that all requirements for digging up a road are met at a given point of time. So I think there are multiple issues involved, and no one issue alone being tackled can actually offer a solution to the problem in totality.
Many thanks for your opening submissions here, sir. Dr. Najmuddin, you see, I remember we were talking about how this new dispensation under D.K. Shivkumar began that anti-encroachment drive. It started, removing the hawkers, the street vendors from the roadsides, and we were again, forced to question whether that move was right or wrong. And now we're sitting on another young life that we've lost too soon. Was the government's priority misplaced? Because that same effort, when it comes to, the anti-parking drive, the anti-encroachment drive, all of that could have been used to make sure that we don't have another pothole-related death.
Yeah, Kabir, it's indeed very saddening that somebody has lost their life because of the care systems that has happened. But here we are not here to blame the government, I would say, right? So here I will not sit and say that okay, the government is bad. It's not like the current Karnataka government is doing nothing. It is spending money, repairing roads and creating new governance mechanism.
Yeah.
But the question here is my question is different here. The question what I want to put it out is, are we fixing the potholes or fixing the system that keeps producing such kind of potholes? That's very, very important to be understood. Now, when you talk about this, it is not just merely about one pothole. It is not merely about the system. Rather, it is about public safety, administrative accountability, infrastructure quality, taxpayers' need, contractor responsibility, inter-agency coordination, and most importantly, the state's obligation to protect life. Because when a pothole becomes clear, when the government knows about it and still fails to eliminate the danger, where are we standing? That is what we need to understand.
That's exactly what my question is, Doctor. I mean, you say that we shouldn't be blaming the government here, but you spoke about infrastructure. You're talking about accountability. You're talking about state's obligation to ensure safety. In terms of all of these aspects, who do we look for? Who do we turn to for accountability then?
Let me come to that. So I never said we are here to completely blame. So we cannot just say because this has happened, we cannot say that be it Karnataka, be it Tamil Nadu, be it Bombay, Maharashtra, the government is bad. See, the government, they are also doing what they can do. But now the whole question is accountability. It is not just about the government expenditure or the government spending. How much, whatever they are spending, are they ready to take the responsibility or the accountability? Okay, they are saying that they repaired that, they repaired this, they do that, they do that. I did all of that.
Okay.
But now, when it comes real factor, what is happening now? Look at this. You quoted a lot of examples, a lot of data. You give beautiful data, and if you see by April 2026, out of 41,000 identified potholes, around 39,000 plus has been repaired. Around 1,263 around the spending. But for that they spent more than 33.9 crore. But what is our point here? What is the point you tell me? They even have another 2,000 crore in the new as a new initiative, road infrastructure and all. So the question is not about whether the government is spending money. Rather, are we converting the expenditure into durable roads?
Exactly. That's a credible point, because time and again we've seen you repair, you redig it, then the potholes reappear, and then it's a repeat. It's a vicious pothole problem, a vicious pothole cycle. Nobody is denying the fact that the government hasn't spent money. According to official quote-unquote data and official expenditure, it is 33.9 crore rupees. You're absolutely right on that point. But what kind of material was used? Was it a shoddy job? Why does it take only months for these potholes to reappear? Those are some stark and big questions that you pointed out. And I did not mean to come at you at that particular point. Many thanks for clarifying. But you see, residents have held a candlelight march. Residents are asking, and this is that Ananth Nagar, stretch, which has again come to light. Swantana Shrikant, let me come to you. Let me bring you into this, discussion. Residents have held that candlelight march demanding accountability. What do you think the municipality, the council, the officials, the contractors now need to do to make sure that they again instill that confidence in the people? Because this is clearly not an isolated incident. If it were, people would not have come down to the street with a candlelight march and, straight away started protesting on that area.
I want to discuss about the broader solution. So it can be based on the prevention, public participation, and strict accountability, as you were also saying that. So not repeated temporary patchwork. What Bengaluru government is doing again and again. First, what can be the solution? First is the civic authority must inspect every road before and during the monsoon. So when monsoon comes, the problem started. But why prevention is not before cure? See, if the survey and the problem can be discussed before the monsoon, I think better solution can be found. And repair drains and ensure authority must inspect every road before and during the monsoon, because water seepage weakens the road and cause the packed road. And second solution can be the GB authority. Can map the underground water, sewage system, and electricity, and internet lines also. Because when we drill for these facilities, this also weaken the road.
Yeah.
And third solution can be the accountability itself of the government and the citizens also. So Bengaluru needs clear promises, better engineering, proper drainage, and coordinated road cutting and clear responsibilities for every rupee. I was listening the one political in your channel, but he was saying that we spend more than you think. But where you are spending? Where you are spending? Where are you spending in your own pocket? Or you are applying the money in the road?
You're absolutely right. And is that prudent expenditure or not? Sir, Mr. Shastri, you see, I now have two reactions from panelists that are saying that the civic responsibility also needs to see a little bit of an uptake. What more does the resident out there need to do? Residents are saying, social activists are saying, we've complained about this time and again. The government says, humne paisa to kharch kiya hai. We're expending all the money that we can. Look at this 34 crore rupees that have been spent in filling just 40,000 potholes. But the potholes have come up again. We've lost yet another life. And this one was reported. Many of those, accidents aren't even reported. 807 accidents on these shoddy roads, out of which 800 plus lives have been lost in just a single year in Bengaluru. I mean, these numbers are quite sobering, if I could use that particular adjective. But what more, because you in your opening submission also said civic responsibility, what more does the civilian have to do? Because from where I'm looking at it, it's clear-cut civic apathy. They're raising voices, they're paying their taxes, and they're the ones that are dying.
You said 34 crores have been spent, and that may be a reality. But then the question that I, as a citizen, would ask is, did we get 34 crores value for the 34 crores? It's not just the expenditure that is important, but it is whether the value for money for the expenditure is there, whether whoever got the job to do actually spent that much amount or whatever was reasonable to spend on getting the job done. My own assessment is that has not happened, and as a result of which you have this problem coming up year after year. Now, I think at the government level, accountability needs to be fixed very categorically. Contracted out to somebody else, there must be a third party, there must be a citizen committee which monitors how that implementation of the road repair happens. The contractor needs to be held to account before such a committee. Citizen involvement in this process is very critical and very important. And as I said, a single window for clearances for all such road repairs, all such road digging up, a single window clearance is necessary so that we don't simply waste money in digging and redigging. Number two, we make sure we get every rupee's value for what rupee we spend. And number three, we engage the citizenry in this monitoring, in this assessment, in this making sure that the taxpayers' money is usefully spent, properly spent, appropriately spent, and meaningfully spent.
Yeah, because, you spoke about accountability. The state of accountability is such that we did reach out to the Congress party. We did reach out to the ruling government, and they clearly said they do not want to talk about this. Now, what does that essentially show? We'll let the viewers decide for themselves. But Dr. Najumuddin, what do you think now would convince the residents that this time, roads are genuinely going to be fixed? I remember tall claims and promises by let's not be naming leaders. They're all politicians from the BJP, from the Congress party, from the Siddaramaiah dispensation, from now the DKS dispensation. But what do you think is now needed to convince the residents that this time the fix is going to be genuine rather than a simple patch with a few months' time and the pothole reappears or the shoddy work again reappears? Some really nice points that were put out by our other panelist, Ms. Srikanth. But what's your assessment here, Dr. Najumuddin?
See, what we need to talk about is the next policy reform that you can take forward, right? So we need to move from a complaint-driven governance to a prevention-driven governance. It's very, very important, because a pothole repaired after death is just a maintenance. A pothole repaired before death is governance. And if you truly want the so-called Viksit Bharat 2047 that we really, a country wants to achieve, then development must ultimately be measured by one simple question: can the ordinary citizen reach home safely? This is indeed very, very important. Now, if you ask me from a policy perspective, I would literally recommend a national pothole and road safety reform framework. Now, there are so many things that we already have, because Bengaluru being a high-tech city, but then there are so many things that is left out as well. Point number one, I would recommend a 24-hour hazard protocol, because every dangerous pothole reported or detected should be identified, barricaded, geotagged, repaired, and independently verified. So now automatically what happens? You are on time. Next is there should be a dashboard, a public road health dashboard, which is very, very important. That shows about what is the road condition, what is the last resurfacing date, about the contract details, the project cost, the warranty period, how many potholes are reported and how many are repaired up to date, and who is the responsible authority, how many complaints are being, how many safety audits were done. And most importantly, we're talking about the contractors as well, Kabir. So I would say that the contractor performance score, people talk only about quality and safety. Give the contractor, every road contractor should give a public score based on quality plus durability plus safety plus response time plus defect frequency, which is indeed missing many a time. Because repeated failure, that should not be the eligibility for future contracts to these people, right? Again, why can't we have an independent road safety audit, which is not happening here? And now if you see, when you have those kind of things, the structural quality, plus drainage, plus the pedestrian safety, plus lighting, plus your markings, plus all the accident risk, all these will be certified. And many a times when you talk about potholes, you fail to understand, you repair a pothole, you are doing it without even taking into consideration the real issue of drainage as well. So in this particular perspective, that is also holistically covered. And most importantly, you can have a citizen escalation mechanism. Of course, we do have. People are reporting, but action is not taken. Why? So now, starting from the junior engineer, then to executive engineer, zonal commissioner, and the commissioner, if they fail to take action properly, punish everybody, punish the system.
Those are all welcome suggestions. Those are all welcome suggestions. So, we've spoken about the problem. We've spoken about why it happens, why it persists, this paradox, the pothole paradox, why it persists. We've also given the viewers a little bit of, policy reform options and suggestions over there as well. I remember some really innovative protests. Remember a pothole puja where people sat down, activists sat down on the road and they started praying to the potholes, please do not take our lives. And, we're in a day and age when you've got so much of artificial intelligence, you've got so much of, digitized applications out there. We can have a pothole portal. We can have a pothole portal that tells us what pothole exists where, what work is going on that front. Maybe Bengaluru can lead the charge for all these other states as well. It's not a specific Bengaluru problem. It's just that it's so rampant in Bengaluru that we're forced to talk about it. Mr. Shrikant, I'm going to give you the final say here. After the candlelight march, after the promised meeting with the officials, do you feel that residents will get a lasting solution? What's the word on the ground? We've spoken about all of these aspects, but what do you hope and what do you expect in the days to come from this dispensation?
So I don't think so. Only because of candle march and any other activism, it can be done. But as we are discussing, as every person takes responsibility, definitely it can be done. So Bengaluru does not need only a pathole filling campaign. It needs a systematic management system. So filling a pathole without fixing drainage, construction quality and accountability is only temporary solution, as I said earlier also. The permanent solution is to make every road a clearly owned public asset, and government employees should be accountable to the public, because if they are not, then these conditions will be never finished off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think a road may be quote unquote repaired on paper. The money may have been spent on paper, but safety and prudent expenditure is measured on the ground, and that is clearly lacking here. We know that accountability is missing. We also know that there is a lot of confusion as to 2-3 agencies working on that same stretch. All those, reasons that have been pointed out by Mr. Shastri, all the policy reforms that have been pointed out by Dr. Nujumuddin, and Mr. Shrikant also coming through with her own suggestions as to how things can get better. Let's hope that good sense prevails, and heart goes out to the family of Medha Akarsh, a life too young, lost too soon. Hearts and prayers with that particular family. Let's hope that good sense prevails and we can prevent the next pothole tragedy to happen. Many thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for taking our time speaking to us. Mr. Shastri, Dr. Nujumuddin and Mr. Shrikant for speaking to us here on News 9, all this very, very important aspect. All right, then we're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, but on the other side, we're going to talk about the working Marathi mandatory rule for all the cab drivers, the app-based cab applications, a language that can build, but regulation, will that come at the cost of livelihood and income? Let's decode that with two very credible voices. Don't go anywhere.
Dear bestie, how can I thank you? They say the truest friendship